What's up guys? This video we're going to break down the 3 levels of conversation skills, how you can go from being a beginner to intermediate to ultimately advanced, along with examples for each so you guys know how you can level up your game. Alright, so there's essentially 3 levels when it comes to your conversation skills, and you can't go from 1 to 3. Typically you have to go from 1 to 2 to 3. So the first level, the beginner level, is when you simply just don't know what to say. You're talking to a girl and suddenly you run out of shit to say. Maybe you can talk to her for 30 seconds, for a minute, for 2 minutes, but at some point you run out of things to say and you're like, fuck, I don't know what to say next. Let's take a look at an example of this and then we're going to show you how you can get to the next level.
Do you like disc golf?
I've never played.
You should play disc golf. It's not as stressful and serious as normal golf. It's very just frisbee, fun, and it's just chill.
I should try it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
You can see the energy in the conversation is pretty low, right? Because this has been already going on for 3-4 minutes. I just wanted to cut to the part where he runs out of things to say. But you can see he's just like kind of scrambling for words. And again, this is not a bad looking guy. This is not a guy who's weird or awkward. This is a decent looking guy who probably in any other circumstance, is normal and able to socialize. But again, when he starts talking to a girl in this situation, just completely runs out of things to say. That's because he's still at the first level.
My mind's blank right now.
Same.
I had a bunch of questions lined up for you, I swear. And they all just left my head. I did. I was prepping for this.
What caused you to forget the questions?
I don't know. It's just in the heat of the moment. Like
Dude, we're even matching. We're both wearing blue, and
we are wearing blue. It's sick.
You're just forgetting about me.
I was unintentional. I was so hyped up. I was like, I'm gonna go with Malik. I'm gonna kill this shit, and it's left me. But what?
And then the day that. So you can see this guy's not like socially awkward. He's not weird. He's a normal guy who under any other circumstance will be able to hold a conversation. But again, because he's at the first level, when he starts talking to a girl, his mind goes blank. And typically this is a sign of anxiety. Like typically, if you're not used to having conversations with pretty girls, right, you kind of go into fight or flight when you start talking to the girl, right? And so that is the first level. However, there's a level above this. And again, you can't go from 1 to 3. Unfortunately, you have to go through the second level, which is potentially just as awkward, if not more so, but it's still a step above just not knowing what to say. The second level is where you basically watch a lot of videos, you come up with a lot of lines, a lot of conversation topics, right? And they're in your head. You have a whole bunch of things, so you're never running out of things to say. Unfortunately, it's too robotic. You sound like a robot because you just basically put a bunch of lines in your head that you saw on the internet, you saw in videos, that you kind of maybe even imagined yourself, right? But you're too robotic. You sound just like a social robot. So let's take a look at an example of this next.
Hey Malik, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I did some research on you.
Oh no. What did you find?
So I found, your name meaning, it means owner. So princess. So all these guys, they're simping for you. So you know what you're doing.
In what language was that research done in?
Well, Malik, I'm going to tell you something. I'm actually Middle Eastern.
So this is very interesting. It's something that's very easy to miss, but you see how he didn't even register her question. Again, because he's running a program in his head, right? He has a whole script that he's trying to get through. So her questions don't even really register, right? Because again, if you're like trying to basically recite a speech that you memorized, if someone says something to you, you're probably going to miss it, but he's not fully present in the moment. He's not being natural, right? He's just running a script in his head. So let's keep going.
Myself too.
Okay.
Yeah, so we got something in common.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, Malik, this is my first day, so go easy on me. So what I'm going to do, because I know you've been streaming for 32 hours, so you're probably really tired and stressed. So
why are you assuming I'm stressed? I'm chilling. You seem a little stressed.
Listen, this is my first date. I'm just with a...
Now, one thing that you can observe is this guy's very stiff. Like he's not a weird guy. He's fairly, charismatic and confident to some extent, like the previous guy, right? But again, he's past the first level where he doesn't know what to say. He's memorized a bunch of shit. Now he's executing a script, right? Which makes him seem very stiff. And you're going to see an example when we get to the third level of what you can do when you get to the next level above that. It looks totally different.
Pretty girl. I got to do well.
Yeah, you do.
So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna plan our first dates. So our first date is gonna be a bowling date. We're gonna do a bowling date. We're gonna do an activity date. So we're gonna see how the vibes go.
I notice how he's doing like 80% of the talking. And this is something, here's the big thing the girls say. It's like, yeah, I feel like what he told me, he could have said to any girl. It doesn't feel individualized. It's not like he's having an engaging conversation with her. He's just, again, executing a script.
Okay? Mm-hmm. And if it goes well, then I'll plan the second date. And the second date, I'm going to take you to a fine restaurant.
I'm laughing at you, not with you, but continue.
Laughing at me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to have a special date with you. Listen, Malik.
Yeah.
I was at the gym and I saw Alex was doing the session, so I just had to I had to plan this date. Turn on my cam.
Okay. Sorry. Continue.
No, I don't. You're cool. Okay. I gotta ask you. Your name. What is?
Okay, so this is a very interesting segue, right? Again, he's not engaging with her. She's like basically negging him, and he's like, fuck, what scripted lie could I say next, right? And girls are very, very good at picking up when someone's being a social robot, when someone's like, using lines. It's a massive, massive turnoff, and they will typically clown on you, right? Now, Malik is quite the character. She has no problem expressing, if she basically, dislikes something the guy's doing. Most girls, they might not clown on you so explicitly. It might be a lot more subtle, or they'll simply just lose interest and be like, oh, I gotta go, my friends are calling, right? But girls are notoriously really, really good at picking up on this if you're just basically executing a script or using lines on the girl. It's a massive turnoff. However, there's a level above that, right? So fortunately there is. And the level above that is when you start to internalize and naturalize some of the concepts you've learned. So basically at this point, you've already have a bunch of lines in the back of your head. You've seen a bunch of examples, right? You've practiced them to the point where you've internalized them. And now you can just basically free flow, right? You can basically just go into a conversation and just shoot the shit, right? Again, you have a whole bunch of stuff in the back of your head, right? But it's not like it's in the front of your head where you're basically going through a script, right? Again, you have a whole bunch of backup conversation topics because you've done this a bunch of times, you've internalized it, and you can have a really fun, basically catchy conversation with a girl where you sexualize, where you tease her, where you engage with her, right? And you're not executing a script. Now let's take a look at an example of what that would look like.
Yo, it's good.
Not much. Hang on, let me put you on full screen. There we go. Okay. Actually, what's funny? The moment I got in and you were shaking your head for a second and like everybody thought I was a weirdo too. I put on my hoodie to like actually do the whole like, oh, I'm a creepy, but then I was like, that might backfire. So I'm just gonna chill out on that.
Wait, can you like show me what that looks like?
Okay, yeah. Hey girl, can I see your feet real quick?
Do you want to?
No, actually no.
Okay, good.
So one thing to observe, he's engaging with her, right? Again, he's not stuck on what to say, but he's also not executing a script. He's having a normal conversation.
I don't know you like that. And honestly, that's like a conversation for a later time.
So you wouldn't suck my toes?
No, you'll have to pay me to do that in like ice cream and kisses.
So are you a whore?
I can be. Are you one?
No.
What?
I don't take payments for sexual
I
flavor.
wouldn't say this guy has like super advanced game, but he's definitely on the third level. He's able to freestyle and actually have a conversation with a girl without going through a bunch of lines.
Favors.
Well, not in that sense. I just like to call myself a whore. Because it's like I've accepted my fate almost.
Your fate?
Yeah.
So are you gonna like get rich from fucking?
Maybe not rich, but like it, rich and happiness kind of go hand in hand. By the way, I'm curious. I'm sorry. Your PC, that light.
Sorry, it's a fish tank. It's absolutely obnoxious. I know.
Okay, so your fish are just partying up in there, huh?
Yeah.
I notice how she's laughing a lot more, but she's not laughing at him. She's actually laughing with him, and there's a big difference.
Just disco fish. I see how it is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What kind of fish do you have?
Well, I got like 4 T4s. I got
4 T4s.
an
sorry,
RTX.
but that just sounds explosive.
Mm-hmm.
And RTX. So there's just like GPU names? Is that what that is?
No, they're fish.
Okay. I was like, I don't think you can.
Now, one key thing of being a good conversationalist is being observant, right? This is something I'm very notorious for. When I'm having a conversation with a girl, I'm observing her environment, right? So I would do something similar. I'd be like, what's going on with your fish tank? What's going on over there? It looks like you have a disco going, right? Observing the environment. Or I might be, if I'm talking to her, I'd be like, what's on the back of the board? Whose names do you have written down there? And she might say, oh, blah, blah. I'd be like, oh, cool, okay. Write my name down, right? So again, you're you're observing the environment, you're observing the girl, and you're riffing off that.
Plug your fish into your computer
Yeah.
graphics card.
I got 3 fawns in there. They're all black.
Mm-hmm. Do you like black things?
Sometimes. It depends what's
Okay.
black.
I mean, I can be black in the right places. You know what's funny? I think this is the first time I've seen you laugh your butt off, and I was like, legit, like, dude, is she just like super? You know what's funny actually? You know how you mentioned you're like on 32? You've been awake for 32 hours. I'm running on 3 hours of sleep too, so I'm like Mr. Sleep
That's not the same, bro. That's not the same.
Whoa.
I'm running on 32 hours of being awake after only sleeping 3 hours. Excuse.
So yeah, and you can see that even though it may seem like a subtle difference, like, wait, what's the difference between the second and the third guy? The third guy is not executing a bunch of lines. He's not running a script. He's actually engaging with the girl. Let's take a look at her reaction at the very end.
Can you like rip it off?
No, I'll let you pull it when we're doing things.
I'm gonna pull it with wax on my hand.
No. You're
I'm
not allowed to do that.
Why?
If you pull it with wax, I'm gonna spank you. I don't leave handprints.
I enjoyed that. All right, Malik, would you go on a date with my pants are on fire because I play with fire?
Yeah, I would.
And so you can see that he got a yes, right, with the same exact girl on the same stream, which pretty much every other guy got a no for. I think maybe 1 or 2 other guys got a yes, right? So again, this is not a chick who just basically hands out yeses to everyone. She says no to the vast majority of people she goes on a speed date with, but she said yes to him because 1, he was able to just actually have a very natural conversation with a girl, didn't feel forced, didn't feel scripted. 2, he was able to create sexual tension. He was able to flirt. He was able to tease her, right? He was able not to get riled up when she gave him a little bit of shit, right? And that is attractive to a woman. And let's take a look at another example of someone who has very advanced conversation skills. This is Marcus Wolf from Ultimate Man Project. I've talked about him in the past, but I find that he has really, really solid games. So let's take a look at a quick clip so you guys can see another example of the 3rd level of conversation skills.
Guy.
Hey.
Hey. Your hair looks great.
It's a little more smoothed out now.
Yeah, no, it's listen, I didn't want to say anything when we were on the group call, but I was like, this girl should like brush her hair or something.
I know, it was really frizzy.
Yeah, I didn't want to be rude.
So he's already teasing the girl, which again, something that I do all the time. I encourage you, tease the girl, be playful, have some fun.
Nah, it looks great. It looks great.
Oh, thanks.
So where have you actually been traveling? I know you coming to see me, but where else?
So actually, a weekend or 2 ago, I went to St. Louis for the first time.
Okay.
Yeah, world traveler over here.
St. Louis. All right. I was actually in St. Louis this year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Another important difference to observe between him and the second guy, look how relaxed he is. He just looks like he's comfortable at ease versus the second guy, his body language was very stiff, right? He looked kind of uptight. But again, if you're like basically reciting a bunch of lines, you're going to be more stiff, right? Because you're like, fuck, I hope I don't forget. I hope I don't forget.
My business partner is from there.
Okay. What do you think of it?
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, that's all right.
It's all right. I mean, I spent this year. I spent like a month in Mexico and then 2 months in Miami. So I mean, that was the fun part, you know.
That's cool. I've never been out of the United States, so I feel like I haven't really seen
Motherfucker,
anything.
Sky, like listen, you can't be the typical American girl. I'm sorry. Like you're sitting there like, I love Hannah Montana. Like, you gotta get out of America, yo. Like,
no, I
go through
know.
Europe.
I really want to. I just don't have the funds for that, you know.
Yeah, we're gonna find you a sugar daddy today, okay? Listen, I'm gonna be. Whoa, I'm gonna spill my water. I'm gonna be your man, okay? Right? I'm gonna be your man. But we're gonna find someone to look after the money side of things, okay? So if there's anyone here with some cash, all right, just flow with them a little bit. You're good. You're good at flirting, actually. Like, you got the pancake hot and ready. I can see you're good at flirting, right? You got your hair done now, all right? So you come out, hang out.
This goes for another about 7 or 8 minutes, and he ultimately sexualizes the conversation and becomes quite sexual right near the very end. So if you want to see that, it's a live stream on my channel. But basically, to quickly recap, right? So if you're at the first level, right, you're not going to be able to just jump to the third level, at least more often than not. You typically have to go to the second level. Now, how do you get to the second level? Well, typically by doing stuff like this, watching videos, looking at examples, looking at videos of me going on a speed date, other guys who know what they're doing, and using that for for inspiration. You might be like, oh, that's a good line that Alex used. Let me try to remember that. Oh, this is a good thing that he said. Oh, this is a good role play, right? You're basically like flooding your brain with ideas. Unfortunately, typically when you start implementing that, it's not going to be natural, right? It's still going to be a little artificial, a little bit forced, but once you keep practicing over and over and over again, and then you slowly start weaning yourself off random lines and start relying on yourself to naturally come up with things to say, right? Again, the lines are there as a backup. They're not there as plan A, they're plan B, right? Then you start to become more and more natural to the point where you just free flow like Marcus. I can tell you with myself personally, I started off at the first level where I just didn't know what the fuck to say to girls. Then the point I started watching a lot of pickup videos, I became a little scripted and gamey, but ultimately I kept practicing and kept practicing. I got to a point where all my shit just became really natural and I was able to riff off, and that is what women find attractive. All right, hopefully you guys found this video valuable, and like I always say, smash the like button, hit subscribe, click the bell for notification, and consider sharing this video with a friend because it really helps in the algorithm. If you guys want to see more videos about leveling up, check out how you can level up your text game and go from beginner to advanced, or check out this video that shows you how women treat you when you fail their tests.